Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name's Chris Orme. This year is Football Manager 21 as we explore and restore the Swansea. Those not in the know, the Swansea way is a concept attributed to a bunch of managers, the board and the club with the players of Swansea City from their rise from the depths all the way early 2000s, almost going bankrupt, almost getting thrown at the league. Going all the way up to a top half Premier League finish, days in Europe's heady days in the sun, beating Valencia, winning the League Cup, before sadly losing our way, selling some players we shouldn't have sold, buying others we shouldn't have bought, paying way too much money in the meantime, and trying to live above our means. The concept is threefold. The staff fit the ideals of the club and the way we play. The way we play is the central concept. It's a style of football, it's an ethos, it is what has got us all our success, and when we moved away from it is when we saw the downfall. We have returned to it in the last couple of years, and I've got to say things look quite bright this season early on. When it works, don't break it. And, don't try and fix it if it ain't broken. And thirdly is the recruitment strategies of players. It's buying those that nobody else wants. It's buying low and selling high. It's buying more than you need to ship out some to earn more money to develop off the field because you don't have owners that can pump in that side of the funds. With all that being said, that's what we have done. Season 1, we won the championship. It was a big old win. It was absolutely crazy. A long season. A couple of stumbles, but generally just dominant from start to finish. Well, maybe not start. The first game we lost. But a few stumbles, one or two in the middle, a few at the end. But we really did what we could do and showcase our full potential. So, I'm very happy with our Season 1 league performance. In the Cups, well, there was a semi-final of the League Cup. We lost to Chelsea. They went on to beat Leicester in the final. In the semi-final of the FA Cup, we were drawn against Arsenal, somehow coming out on top. And somehow, if you haven't seen the last episode, go and watch it. An absolutely madcap ride, going 1-0 down to United, getting battered all game long. Equaliser, last-minute winner, FA Cup champions in one, which brings back Europe a little sooner than I expected in this series. I am not going to lie. And it has really dramatically increased the profile of the club. I think we're a far higher reputation than I expected at this stage. And not only that, but brings back the European football and forces us to develop a little quicker than we expected. I expected this to be a slow build. It's gone a little bit more than that. It is what it is. But yeah, I've been a Swansea fan from dark days in the mid-90s, early 90s to those dreadful, tumultuous days in the early 2000s, all the way up to the top and back down a little way. In game, got back to the top. Stuck true to our principles. It might not seem like it. And you'll have to trust us on a part of the process on a few of these signings, which are not true Swansea way signings. I will admit that. But I will explain as we go through them the ones that don't fit the ethos, why they were made, and why they make sense. Let's get that started. As you can see, you've had some time, as I've been talking last few minutes, about the way that we build the club. This is the team. This is the squad. There's another couple we brought in that don't make the first team squad, and that is absolutely fine. I will say this is my best lineup. This is my best squad. Everybody's happy. I think everybody here is at least like a first team player, and nobody outside of the first 11 is a regular starter or above. Couple we had to kind of adjust down. We signed them to be starters, then we got better starters, we were down. Luckily, we haven't had too much pushback. A little bit here or there, a couple of conversations, and it's been swept under the rug. Right now, everything looks good, and I'm really, really happy. I want to just take a brief overview of the squad. So, the under-18s look like this. A few of these boys came through the youth academy. They might not make it, but until recently, some of them look good. Two of them still look absolutely amazing. Robert Bevan, Cliff Heathcote. They still look absolutely phenomenal, to be fair to them. So we send out a lot of our young players on loan to develop, get game time. They won't be playing with us. We've also got recruitments like Lucas Gomez and Luis Carbonell. They also go out and get game time. Brian Facey, of course, new in. He comes in. Very, very decent. And young Harry Jones. Is he going to be good? I don't know. He doesn't look amazing, but he is a real player. A lot, if not everybody else, I think, might be actually, might be regens at this point. Under 23s, again, some good players like Zero, Kabango. Gotzi's come in. He's going out on loan, hopefully. Riculi, Faustino. A lot of these players we've brought in. Javi Shintes for the future. Louis Thompson, I bought for the first team, but when options come up, you can't turn them down. Clark Pereira, I mean, that's an exciting prospect. And then Ben Knight and Vasco Souza in attacking. With Cardoso, and again, Gomez and Carbonell, you can playing in the reserves, as well as the under-18s. Verse 11. Roning, Heinrich, Bornau, Meffam, George, Cook, Vasilidis, Gold, Brooks, Hayo George, and Ryan Brewster. With Bender, Roberts, Gibbs White, Raskin, Carter Vickers, Wagwe, I think it might be Wagwe because that accent on the, and Max Lowe. With Ben Pearson, Ashley Fletcher, Connor Ronan, and Stuart Finley in the first team squad. I'm trying to keep making a splash. We still got Jorge Hernandez coming in. Gonna take a while. We put a bid in of 8.75 because I keep going through loans and noticing that when I loan players, their values do change. And maybe it's because he's in his final season and he's running down his contract. Maybe it's because he's going to be with us that... Actually, at the end of his contract? No. Got another year after. I don't exactly know why. But they went from wanting 50 to wanting less than 9. And so, we're going in on Morgan Gibbs White. At the same time, for 22.5, again, not the Swansea way at all. But I know Yusuf Demir is an absolute phenomenal player. And I'm pretty sure even if he fails at this club, he will be worth 20 to 30 million resale. So I will risk a 5 to 10 million loss when counting wages and signing on fees to gamble on Demir, because I don't feel that will ruin the club. And yeah, he's been in Austria for a long time. Now's his time maybe to move. Look at our transfer history. We've actually got to go back to last season because a couple of these go up last season. So Cameron Congreve, I don't think was going to make it. Looks decent. Maybe I should have held on to him, but assistant said he wasn't great. Rio Campbell as well, I don't think is going to develop. Ryan Bassett, I don't think really is going to develop. And Tyvon Grushesha. Nothing wrong with them. All young, all good, all solid players, but we had better coming in. I kind of wanted to take advantage of that. Stuart Finley, on a free. Will be backup. Big man, strong in the air, useful. See what happens. Darrell Gillespie, solid young centre-back. Supposed to have a ton of potential. So we will see exactly how that works out. Again, buy low, sell high. Dewey Tomlinson, Louis Thompson. I always do it. I don't know why. As I say, in the reserves, but a good Welsh backup player. Very solid, very cheap. Ben Pearson in the midfield. He just about makes it in the first team. It's either him or Thompson, really. But 300,000, again, he's British, he's young, he'll do the job. Brian Facey from TNS. They seem to have a golden generation because Graham Bowers also came from there. And they are both sort of very highly rated 3.5-star players. So, happy with that. And then comes the first big breaking signing where I changed. I changed my targets, I upped my game, and I went and started throwing money about. He's been at the club before. He did not get game time at Sheffield United. I don't know why. They went with McBurney. They went with all their other strikers. I don't know why. McBurney, who said they didn't have Nicholas Gonzalez. I guess they bought him to replace, I think. But Ollie Burke is there, a couple of others. So they were kind of loaded. And I decided to put the money on the table. 26 million to bring back Ryan Brewster to the club. He might be susceptible to injuries. I don't think he's going to miss a ton of time. And he's so good, and bringing back players has kind of been a theme for this so far. So I'm very happy to have him on board. And yes, it doesn't make sense the Swansea way. 26 million on Ryan Brewster. But he's been here, he's proved himself. He's good, he's young, and he's British. We're not taking risks on people who we don't think will succeed in the Premier League. So there's no indication of that being the case. Therefore, he makes sense. Sebastian Bornau, maybe it is a little more difficult to understand on that front. Nearly 20 million, but again, a very, very good report card. He really steps up. He's far better than what we were going to run as our starting centre-backs, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Stuart Findlay, a free transfer and a 750,000 signing. So dropping 20 on Sebastian Bornau, I think really, really helps us be solid at the back. And yeah, I kind of had to do it. I had to pull the trigger there. So be it. And then Ryan Gold we had lined up anyway for 2.1 million. And I think it's just a fantastic little prospect in that midfield. Very solid, very cheap. He spent some years in Portugal doing decent things. He's back in Britain. He looks really good, and he steps right into the lineup and does a good enough job for us. So I'm very happy to have him. He's definitely a Swansea way type of signing. So the Thompson, Pearson, Gold midfield, that is Swansea going through. Tyler Roberts, Sanabria, Fletcher, they are all, Juan Vasilidis, they're all Swansea way signings. These are for the future. Groening 2.3 for an amazing goalkeeper is definitely Swansea way. And Kalecha and Collinger, as well as Wilshire, they were all for the first team last season. So, happy to have all those in. But those are the Swansea ways. We kind of break it for Ryan Brewster and Sebastian Bornau. But I think each of them is a risk. You can see why we made it. And I don't think it hurts us because we made so much more in general. It's not like we're spending money we don't have to take the risk. That to me is important. Cullen out, Jose Cañas back out. Jan Danda wanted a new deal. He wanted a ton of money. I was not prepared to give him that. So he went to Leipzig and they're loaning him out, but 21.5 million is a big amount of money. Also to Dortmund in Germany, Kaleika, a player of the season, a young player of the season, a signing of the season. I didn't like how slow he was. I think we upgrade at centre-back. Fun fact, on a free transfer, they did manage to get... Did they not manage to get... I thought they were... thought they had... No? Who's got Donnarumma? Man City signed him. Oh my God, he was almost certainly. I thought he was going to Dortmund. They were the only team in for him. Well, Donnarumma at Man City. That just makes our life more difficult. I really thought we'd be playing in front of Donnarumma. But anyway, it's a decent sale. It's big profit. It's calling up. Again, quite slow, big in the air. We've got players similar that will do that job for us. So I'm excited to see how these changes at the back really pay off. Brunescu, our backup goalkeeper, heads back to Italy. Just get Fulton up, not many takers. We have to lower our price. George Byers, decent amount. And Ryan Bennett, he was getting old. He had to go. Sanabria. Oh, another one that wanted more money that I would have wanted to keep. But this is what really pushed me into the deal for Ryan Brewster. Because when you look at it, he doesn't enjoy big matches, fairly inconsistent. I didn't really know, but I kind of liked having him. He was a good player for us. He did good things. But when the money comes in, when he wants more money and I say no, I offered him out for, I think, like 30 million or something. His value was 26. So I offered him out for 30. We had bids around 18. I rejected. We went back out, offered for 25. I think we got like 22s in there, 3 or 4 clubs. I can't remember exactly who was in for him though. But Napoli was one of those clubs, 24 million. We managed to bump it up to. And I'm really happy with the profit we made. And the fact that then ended up financing the bulk of the Ryan Brewster deal. So again, we're not taking risks at all. Matty Grimes, tons of money. He was upset. Sheffield United had money to burn for some reason, possibly because they just sold Ryan Brewster. And again, the bid came in. He wanted to leave. I could have fought for him. I didn't. I decided to let that be what it was going to be. Campazano, decent amount of money there again. Another very nice striker. I love that anticipation off the ball. But again, I just thought we had good options, and that opened up the door for Kaya George and pays that money quite nicely. Asoro, John, Gould, all needed a go. They weren't that good. A bunch of loan deals then start coming out. Latabodier, I don't think he was ever going to develop for us. Lewis, Cooper as well. And at this point, I'm looking at my defence, and my fullbacks are both wanted by big clubs. West Brom, West Ham. The money being offered is decent. And so I had to pull the trigger. Jake Bidwell gets yellow cards, and he's 28. I don't think I ever make that much money on Bidwell again. Connor Roberts, younger, club captain at this point, but he wanted to leave for a bigger club, and as soon as West Ham bid, it was very difficult. He was worth 16. I tried to get 25. He was upset that West Ham pulled out. We had to agree for a 20 million deal, and they did come back and snap him up. That was pretty interesting. Couple of the young players that didn't make it. At that point, I'd committed. I knew I had 5 targets at fullback. I knew I wanted to sign 4. 2 starters, 2 backups. That was how it was going to go. Ivan wanted a new contract, wouldn't be backup, so his FA Cup final goal is his last action for the club. He heads out to Sampdoria. We make a big profit. I probably could have got a lot more, if I'm honest. But we took the first bid, and at that point I wanted players to leave so I could kind of wrap up and start really planning for the future. On the same day, also to West Ham, they got a new right back and a new left back, 2 25-year-olds, 2 UK players, 2 internationals, and they paid 32.5 million total. So you got to give them credit for doing what they wanted to do. Ryan Manning wanted first team football. He wanted a new contract. He wanted to be a star player. He wanted 60,000 a week. I think he was on like 12, so I tried to compromise, go in the middle. He didn't want it. He really went after me. And I kind of responded and went after him in the private chats. The point where he was untenable at the club. So we had to take a little bit less money on Manning than we wanted to. Then again, if I got 15 for Manning, or even like 17.5 for Manning, 10 for Bidwell, I'm happy. 7.5 for Ivan, and then that would make like Connor Roberts 22. I think I'm very happy with the amount we got in total. And then upset that actually Connor Roberts had left us, the club captain had been sold. And then further incensed that we didn't have cover at left back and that Manning had left. Jack Wilshere kind of threw his toys at the pram. We did agree that if I gave him a better deal, he would stay. So I went to offer him a contract. I think he was on 56 already, which is far above the rest of the squad. I'm thinking 60 to 70,000. He wanted 98,000 a week. I was not prepared to do it. I knew that there were other options out there. And I've been watching Demir and scouting him. I've been looking into the Gibbs-White deal. I've been looking into a couple of the younger players to replace him anywhere 29. Perfect opportunity. 21 million from Leicester. Let's ship him out. He actually left yesterday. Which is kind of crazy. But in game, he left yesterday. And with all that money, what we did was get ourselves a centre mid. I was actually trying to get Swansea. What's his name? Swansea from Brazil. From Portugal, actually, sorry. From FC Famalicão. I really like him. 9-10 million. I think that would have been a perfect Swansea way signing. Yeah. I really, really wanted this guy. And to be honest with you, he has got a 22, was it 22? Yeah. Yes. 22 million minimum fee release. So, in a year or two, when maybe we've sold one or two players, we might look to bring him in as an extra body. I really, really like him. He's still young. Let him prove himself at Rangers for a year or two, and then he can come down to us finally. But he took their contract, not ours. It's less money, but I think, you know, they're happier going up there. So that's fair enough to him. That's fair enough. I can't sort of say too much about that. My backup was to pivot and put bids in on Declan Rice and Lewis Cook, because I normally do so when I'm playing a Premier League side in Britain. Just to see. To my amazement, Lewis Cook was available for 12.5 million, which I think is an absolute steal. It's a crazy price. And that got me thinking, because usually you're quoted 40 for him and then like 80 for Chris Meffam and 80 for David Brooks. I started thinking then, what if we just were part of the dismantling of Bournemouth? They didn't get promoted. 12.5 for Lewis Cook. 21 million was enough for them to give up Chris Meffam, which is mind-boggling to me. But gives us another big, tall, strong central defender to go alongside Borneo. But you know, he's Welsh. Lewis Cook's English. David Brooks is Welsh. 22 million to get an attacking midfielder. Sadly injured. He'll be out for another couple of weeks. In injury time of the first game, he actually got injured, which sucks. But, and I'll go through why we didn't that game on stream. But Chris Meffam is a fantastic defender. Lewis Cook is a controlling midfielder. David Brooks is a very good attacking midfielder. And at this point, I was actually bidding on Brooks and Gibbs-White and trying to get Phil Foden on loan and trying another couple of people, one of which we did follow up on. We'll get to him later. We revisited and got him as backup because Gibbs-White didn't look likely. Now Gibbs-White and Demir look likely for about 30 million combined, which is outrageous. So we might just be overloading and having to really change things up in midfield. But I couldn't lay off that. I just couldn't lay off it. There's 43 there, 55.5 Cook, Meffam, Brooks. The funniest thing, or not really funniest thing to me, but you know, they lose Josh King, Esmir Begovic, Adam Smith, Steve Cook. and Rossi. Rossi's not maybe a big loss there, but the rest are all first teamers. So, you got a big centre back. Meffam's another centre back. Smith is your full back. Begovic your starting goalie. King is your striker. So, goalkeeper, full back, 2 centre backs, defensive midfielder, attacking midfielder, and your striker. All gone. And all you get is that 56 million that we kind of give. We have given them a goalkeeper on a free. We have given them Ben Cabango out on loan. They brought in a couple of decent players. Bournemouth have a very small squad. And we'll see how they do in the Championship this season because of it. But they held on to Solanke. They held on to Lerma, who I almost went in for. And Billing as well. I almost went in for. Because prices for the players were, not going to lie, really, really tempting. But we didn't need that many players. So, yeah. I kind of had to do that. In and amongst that, of course, the deals we agreed for Raskin and Gotzik to come in. The Carter's Vickers deal, which he lost his place to Chris Meffam. Which I think is fair. After the start of the season, after we actually flipped over in-game and became an actual Premier League club, George actually would talk to us, which I did not expect. And he is so cheap, and he is so good, and he is such a player. I'm absolutely overjoyed that we've been able to bring him in up front. 11.5 on like an 18-year-old striker, again, might not be the Swansea way. But it made too much sense and too much potential. We'd made the money elsewhere. It's not a risk. We're actually making money by making these. If they don't work out, there's so much resale value. It's already worth double what we paid. Brooks, Meffam, Cook. I mean, Cook's a Swansea way kind of signing. That's fine. Meffam, Brooks, probably too much money to be in that bracket, but so good. Welsh, young. I just can't get away from all the good factors of those deals. And again, they're proven. And I can see them playing for far bigger clubs than us. So not really risky picks. We get on then to more Swansea weight type signings. Max Lowe backup. Apparently he really does not like big matches. He what does it say? Oh, it's gone. It used to say he dreads big matches. So I'm pretty sure him being backup's okay, but if he's ever in a cup final or something really big, we might not see the best out of Max Lowe. But again, very cheap. Very decent. He's played a decent amount of games. Sheffield United again didn't use him. I don't know why. Ends up going out on a very cheap deal. And I'm very glad to pick him up. So that for Manning's 12.5 million. I mean, that's like 11.75 profit. Get younger. We get similar, I think with more potential. And I get rid of a problem player. So I'm very happy with that deal. 5 million for George, 15 million for Bidwell. We make 10 million and we get better. We get younger. We lose a British player. But I mean, we get a Brazilian international left back that looks good. And again, I'm very happy with where George is. Very, very decent. Completely rebuild the back line. In front of Tim Roning. Completely rebuild the team, almost. We'll go over that in a second. Starting, I'm going to jump a player and go starting right back, Benjamin Henriks. Very sensible defensive right back. Not the most exciting name or biggest name he could have gone for, but a decent amount of money. Again, wasn't really wanted at Monaco, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the players people don't want. The cheaper deals. The players that should be 3 to 10 times the price. Heinrichs falls into that category perfectly. 3.7 million, 35 grand a week, 5-year deal, 24. Got potential to grow. Absolutely fantastic. Happy to have him in the club. I'm backing him up almost as a rotation again with Connor Robertson Ivan. We had that. We have that with Musa Wagwe as well. From Barcelona, tons of pace, £9.5 million value, £27,500 a week, and we get him for a bargain basement £850 again. Almost said dollars. But again, he's maybe not getting into Barcelona. They did want to put clauses in. We backed out the deal, waited a week, went back in without clauses. But I knew as soon as Connor Roberts was getting bids and he wanted to go to a bigger club and he was upset with West Ham, I knew, thanks to the Barcelona sort of rebuild we were doing, that they had these good young fullbacks. I looked through them, identified Musa as probably my best option there. I figured out he would be backup when I saw Heinrichs in there. The pair of them are really good for the future. Lowe and George at left back. I thought that's a great way to rebuild. We got Kyle George. We got Graham Brewster up top. That's a great way to rebuild. We got the spine of the team, Brooks, Metham and Cook, on the cheap from Bournemouth. Plus the three that we got in. Rotational now instead of first team centre back. A rotational instead of a first team centre mid. And actually an under 23s instead of a backup or young centre back there. And one of the centre midfields, attacking centre mids, we went back for Connor Ronan. I saw him when I managed Wolves earlier in FM21 beta. He looked decent. And again, the price is right. He's Irish, which puts him in the UK and Irish bracket. He is quite good. He's been on loan a long time. We had to go in for him for those kind of things. 1.6 million. It took a while to get the deal done. And in fact, he's actually come in the same day as we are here, just in time for a game, which is good because we're going to need it. Because Wilshere left and Gibbs White may have a little injury. Or recovery from an injury. So we made 135 million over transfers this season. And we lost 48.5 there. So was that like an 80 to 90 million actual increase? And then we're spending about a third of that to maybe make Morgan Gibbs White a permanent signing and add Yusuf Demir in. We're fighting Napoli. Napoli should get him if they really want it. I'm banking on the fact that they might not put a bid in. So yeah, Morgan Gibbs White turns white instead of that light blue. Demir comes in as my squad member number 25. And we're all good. We look at our registration totals. We've got 4 to the 17 foreign players. We've still got 6 more players we can register. And absolutely everybody is registered. And most of these loanees couldn't be registered. But even then, with Blake, with Evans, with Govea, with Rakuli, that's another 4. That takes us up to 23. Yeah, that would take us up to 23. So all these are under 21s players. And then Gibbs White stays there. Demir is an under 23. All fantastic. So you see here, Connor Ronan came in. Train him to be a Mazzala. We're buying out all our deals here that we can. Tyler Roberts actually has 2 more, I believe. He's got the appearances and goals to go. Yeah. Another 350 and then we're done on him. And again, I don't know why most of that money's not added up, but it's saying we're going to crop out at about 4.75. I mean, somewhere there's 2.5 that's been paid but not calculated. Interesting. But even if I add all that up with all the players in this first team that we have spent the money on, this entire first team, top to bottom, as of now, including that missing money for Tyler Roberts, I believe adds up to 143 million. Which means the Gibbs White deal breaks 150. But for a team this good, this young, with this much potential for 150 million for 22 top class players. I'm blown away. I'm absolutely blown away. I'm really excited to see what happens. I guess for this game, we're going to rotate through. So Gibbs White will start, Connor Ronan will go on the bench, and Brooks has to slip down. But yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. We've also made some changes to the teams here. Under 18s team, under 23s team looks pretty good. Only one sports scientist, we might have to improve there. But honestly, I think we're pretty good on staff members, and we have increased slightly here. I don't think we've added on Brittle as an extra, I believe an extra physio we would allow. And then we had an extra scout, if I believe correctly. I think Haniza came in, Murphy came in, D'Amico came in as well, as we got rid of a couple, and also we got rid of our chief scout to bring in Antonio Mir from Argentina. So, a little bit of revamping there. I could have gone different places with our directors. I decided to leave those in place for now. And then coaching team, I think I kept... Again, I've done a little bit of extras. I think I brought in maybe one or two. Well, I don't know who. I can't remember. At least one of these has come in. I think it was Perez. Was it Perez? May have been Perez. I think it was Perez. And a new assistant manager, Dirk Mark, comes in, who looks absolutely fantastic. He was in China. He was the German under-20s assistant before that. I'm very, very happy to bring him in. An upgrade at assistant is big, so we step up. And I only really did that because our former assistant, Ricky Sprague, decided to retire on. So, those are the backroom staff. And again, it's building a good staff. And for a brand new promoted team, I think we're pretty good. Second, third. Best defensive coaching in the league. Third, second, third. Best tactical coaching in the league. And third, their man management. Judging players, again, doesn't look great, but third. You got the second best physio team and the fourth best sports scientists. So that is where we're lacking, is in sports science. We might need to overhaul that. But we're keeping up to date. We're really pushing. We're not paying like crazy wages here either. You know? You can see here nobody's on a huge wage. We've got 2 on $5,000. Now we're down to about $2,000. A couple of people still in the hundreds here. So there's not huge wages. D'Amico comes in for $3,500. $3,600 for Richard Moore. So I think they fill out the highest. So those two, 36, 35. And then we've got a couple up here. $4,000 for Margaretson. $5,000 for our assistant Dirk Mack. And our director of football. And me at 40. So the top 6, apart from me, the top 5 that we've hired in is roughly about 22,000 in terms of staff, which really is quite low. And we do have some good members of staff here. So I'm very happy with the backroom staff. I'm happy with the style of football. I'm happy with our recruitment windows. We've gone young. We haven't taken risks. We've gone off the transfer list. We've gone from free transfers and the contract deals. We have taken advantage of interest in our players. We are playing the Swansea way. And how's it gone so far? 2 games into the season, 1 in the league, because I thought we were going to lose it, which we didn't, and the Community Shield for winning the FA Cup. I don't know what's going on. I don't know how long or if this is going to last. I don't know what's going to happen. But by God, if I win the league this year, you're going to have to subscribe. You're just going to have to do it and join the Patreon. I'm telling you now, ladies and gentlemen, if this happens, there will be scenes. Do you hear me? There will be absolute scenes. I already upset my neighbours and got a telling off from the leasing office about winning the FA Cup and my reaction to it after I stopped recording. Yeah. So, there will be scenes. There will be scenes. I didn't have an assistant, so I had to book the friendlies myself. I scrambled. We were already out in Austria, I believe. So, we did our pre-season friendlies. 3-1, Brewster, 2 off the back. He also played for the under-23s and put 2 past Newport County, who they were playing in a friendly. So, he opened up his account, scoring twice in back-to-back games. Then we played Mura, and Brewster got a hat-trick. And then we signed Kaya George, and we beat Zweti 10-0, who are a very small side. But Brewster hit 7, and Kaya George just had a cheeky little debut hat-trick. So, I mean, like, I can't deal with it at this point. At this point, I can't deal with it. Like, 4 games in, Brewster's got 14 goals in the friendlies. Kaya George got 3 in 1. Then Ajax, a stronger test. Nope, Ryan Brewster again, boys. Ryan Brewster again. Napoli, Brewster didn't score. Brewster didn't score. He actually didn't play well. Neither did Tim Roning. We still come out with a 1-1 draw. We beat Ajax. We draw with Napoli. Sam Lammers is another striker I really like, and I almost went in on. But he didn't want to talk to me, and he's ended up on loan there. Again, I actually think long-term that might be something to revisit. Therefore, it's probably worth me putting him back on the shortlist. I should only have 2, not 3, because I've got them here. So, Sunsao we missed, but we can go back on. And San Lammers we missed, but we can go back on. I think they are very good. Look at those deals. Those deals, boys. That says 30.5. It's actually 22.5. We've got accepted. So, yeah. I'm very happy with how those have gone. Osasuna, bit more of a crazy game. Gold. Gibbs White, George okay, Wagyu 2 from right back. I mean, great A beef there. Great A beef. Avila and Torres, I mean, they were the first team to really give us a strong performance. But we saw the debut as well of Chris Meffam in the team. Starting to see us take shape and play well. Porto step up, we get a penalty, we don't play well, but Brewster's in. Now you start to see Lewis Cook in. David Brooks comes in. Now we're really starting to bring in everybody. Kai George, Tyler Roberts off the bench. Again, Brewster's cooled off at this point. But we're in great shape. Community Shield. Just... I don't know. I don't know what happened, but this is a good Liverpool team that you can see didn't play badly. They got Kelleher in goals. They got Serge, got the text message in midfield, who they signed. Nino behind Jota. There's Yankov on the right wing. And Bertrand on the bench. Like they've done bits. But yeah, this is where we started. This was our first goal in competitive football. If you class the Community Shield as competitive football. Joe Gomez scares off Brewster. George back to him. Across, first time by Ryan Gold. And that is gold. Back of the net. Absolutely slams it in early on. Very happy. And then Cook, risky pass. Yankov, Serge. And there is Diogo. Cheeky little dink over the keeper. Heartbreaker before halftime. I think I know if I come out strong, we've got a shot. It doesn't happen. It keeps not happening. And then, see this, and George. Brooks, what a lovely run. Kelleher with a bit of a mare there. Ryan Brewster against his old club. Putting that in the back of the net. 79 minutes then. We cut out the ball at their goal. Hook up to Kyle George. Over to Brooks. through the middle, lovely finish into the side netting. We're off and running, 10 minutes to go, party scenes. I drop back into defence, they attack, we're going to throw in, though Wilshire, Vasilidis loses the ball, but Brooks to Brewster, carrying a knock, slips it in, job done, big win. So that's technically another trophy to add to the list. And yeah, Tim Roning kept us in that game. You can see 16 shots to 6 on target. We put 4 of our 6 in. They put 1 of their 16 in. And it wasn't from them want of trying. Defense stepped up. Roning stepped up. Forward stepped up to keep pressure off. The midfield slightly overwhelmed, but they're learning. But we're going to get that right eventually. You can see they dominated the game, but it didn't matter. The way we played was enough to carry us through. And then the first game of the season, again, I did not feel that we were going to be in this game. I thought at home to Reading, a great place to kick off the season too. But yeah, we managed to get a pretty good result, despite, again, being outshot and outworked and outfought for a lot of the game at Stamford Bridge. So, what can I say? Tim Roning is an absolute beast. The strikers did well, the midfield did okay, but the defence stepped up and Tim Roning was an absolute machine. Broke up half time, praying we go in at 0-0, and then you see Mason Mount step up. And from a corner, Pulisic there comes back with it. Lovely run. It's a bit of a pinball. I'm not sure how much Mount knew about it, but Werner was there, Havertz was there. One of them had to put it in. It ends up being Mason Mount. So the front four step up. Kai George, gold. That is a lovely glancing header from Lewis Cook for the first Premier League goal of my reign. And then 56-minute, Ryan Brewster marauding, almost loses it again against his old club. Lovely ball, powerful header, Kai George back across goal. His debut goal there in competitive Premier League football. He follows up 20 minutes from time. Brooks again almost loses it. The Chelsea fullbacks didn't clean up. Lovely little Di Canio, flick of the left foot, strike with the right. 2 on his league debut there. And then it keeps getting better. Towards the end, we counter. Kai George feeds Brewster, turns his man. And against his old club, a cheeky little dink like Jota did to us. Against his old club, on the score sheet. We played Liverpool and Chelsea in meaningful games. And we've won both 4-1. I mean, I can't really... I can't put my finger on it. I don't know where we're doing the right things at times, because we should have lost both of them. All I can say is Tim Roning is probably responsible. The front three, I mean, Brooks, Brewster and Kai George, phenomenal, yes. Losing Brooks so late on kind of sucked. So we're going to have to go without him today. But we brought in one. We got a deal for Gibbs White. We got Demir lurking. So, you know, Ronan, Gibbs White, Demir. I mean, that's fantastic anyway. So, yeah, we do get slightly weaker for it. But hey, it's nothing crazy. So this is the team. This is how we're playing. This is what we're doing. And after one game, we were top of the league. And we kind of still are. Technically. Leicester played a game. Liverpool played a game. I think Liverpool played Man City, right? Yeah. They played Man City. And Leicester played Southampton. So, after one game, we led the league. With a trophy already under our belt. And this great team. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what more to say than that. That's our roundup. That is our off-season roundup. The big money moves that we made, that perhaps we maybe shouldn't have spent the money. But it's centre-back partnership. Bono and Metham. Not risks in my opinion. It's David Brooks. Big money but big player and future and young and British. So is Metham. Okay, Bono isn't. That's fine. George, only 11.5. Other players are paid for all these anyway. The potential, the quality's already shown. I don't think it was a risky move. And 26 for Brewster, we probably went too high on. He wasn't actually transfer listed. They just weren't paying him. We took a gamble. They said like 32. I split the difference. I think it was something like that. He's worth like 19 or something. So, yeah. We split the difference. We ended up somewhere around the 26 mark. We paid it. He's already paid off big time in pre-season and early on. But those are the big 4 moves that we probably didn't have to make. But we did. Took a 12.5, a little expensive. Other new signings, George, Henriques, Gold, Ronan, Raskin, Carter's Vickers, Wagway, Lowe, Pearson, Fletcher, Finley. Yeah, those are the new players this season. If you also include the players that I've brought in during my time at the club, like Roberts came in last season, Gibbs White is already here on loan, Bender's already been here a few years, Vasilidis we brought in last season, Tim Running we brought in. So in the first team squad, what has survived our transition? And Gibbs White's only in on loan, so we make that permanent. I'm gonna count him. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Stephen Bender. It is Stephen Bender, and that is it. He predates me and will not be my signing. Although I have re-signed him to a 5-year deal, $7,500. And he will be my backup keeper for the next couple of seasons. He does survive. It's a total overhaul within 2 seasons. It's a dramatic 1-season overhaul. Yeah. Like all these are in. Jack Evans is an existing player that probably gets sold, if I'm honest with you. Who else was here before me? Brandon Cooper again. Restart. Not sure he survives. Harry Jones, I'm just not sure how good he will be. Jordy, again, probably gets sold. Kai and Morgan, they're also existing players. They might make it, I'm not sure. Daniel Williams, probably not. He was here beforehand. And, of course, Ben Cabango. Suddenly, not really. 4-star potential. Should still make it. Don't need him to, but yeah. Yeah, it is what it is, guys. It is what it is. This is my version of the Swansea way. And like I say, to assemble this squad at these prices, to be good this young, to have the start, to maybe overachieve, maybe get into Europe ourselves and succeed in Europe in our first season. I mean, Premier League title is not out of the question. Not with the results we've had. Not with the way we're playing. Very attacking out wide and up front. But the core is defensive. The keeper, in case anybody gets through, has a little opportunity to get the ball. It's cautious. It's nothing too crazy in possession. We kind of sit back when we win the ball a little bit. We build from the back. That is the Swansea way. And yeah, that's it. That's all I'm doing. It's not a game-breaking tactic by any stretch of the imagination, but it's really working for us early on. Got great tactical familiarity right now. We're still learning it. Players still developing their bonds. Cohesion's down the drain from last season, as expected. But we're getting there. Atmosphere's really good. Support's really good. We got rid of the bad eggs. We need to rebuild the team leaders. All of those have gone again, but if I can get Cook, Metham, and Roning up there, I'll be happy with that. Or Brewster. Gibbs White, Vasilidis, I'd be happy. Bono, probably because of vice captaincy as well in the highly influential. I think we're really good. And if these all coalesce into one group, I'll be very happy with those two. Everyone's happy. Tyler Roberts wants game time. Ashley Fletcher wants game time. It's only his first day at the club. Apparently, I've somehow mistreated Connor Ronan. I'm really not sure why. I've done nothing. I think it's a bug. Usual 1 week, 1 week, 2 week, 2 week there in meeting. And everybody, as always, set up the mentoring. And all my units are set up for the position they play and the play. So, I've also changed to a pressing forward. I've changed my deep line forward attack to a pressing forward attack. That is another change done there. So, hey, that's it. That's all, everything, and up to date. Thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it as always. This is the club. This is the future. And oh boy, it's been an absolute wild ride. I mean, there's money in the bank. We went like 40 million. Yeah, almost 40 million in debt. And now we are up like 132. We're up actually a bit more. This month we're making a ton of money. And then Demir and Morgan Gibbs White might just torpedo that back down. We've got budgets, got money to spend. I'm just flabbergasted. Everything's pretty much been upgraded too. We're even increasing the stadium, apparently. We'll look at that briefly before we go. Where's that board? Ongoing, so training and youth and expand the stadium. I think it's 30. No, it's not 30. I think it's 28 we'd go up to. Maybe even a takeover. They're all happy. This is our idea. You're competitive, fight bravely against relegation. I think we might just overachieve that. Minimum FA Cup and EFL Cups. We did win the community. Attacking, possession, entertaining. They want high tempo pressing, which we're not really going to be doing, so that's where we're going to take the hit, I think, this season. Develop using the youth system, I'd love to. So, yeah, we'll see. If I look at facilities, yeah, no, we can't see how that expansion, but I think it's 28 we're going to. I really don't think I've lost or forgotten anything right now, so yeah, I think that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you very much for the support, as always. Let me know what you think about this rebuilding. Team gets promoted to the Premier League, buys a brand new defence, a brand new midfield almost, and a brand new attack. And the two players in the first team that we had from last season, being Tim Roning in goal and Vasilidis in midfield, were new signings last year. So this is my team, but this is Swansea football. This is Swansea recruitment. This is a great backroom staff, good on the training pitch, good on the playing pitch, and financially responsible throughout. This has been the Swansea. We'll see what we can do in the next one, where we kick off our YouTube Premier League and home Premier League debuts with a game against promotion through the playoffs. Will we beat the first time to get into the Premier League through the playoff final? We get Reading up with us. That's our first home game. That will be in the next one. In the meantime, though, smash that like button. Comments as well. Best player, best signing, worst signing. Have I made a mistake? Is Demir worth it? Should I back off on Gibbs White and get Demir instead? Should I go Gibbs White instead of Demir? Should I get them both? Let me know what you want to say. But yeah, gonna be fun. Smash a like, hit subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go over to Twitter. Follow me. Subscribe if you can. Link in description as well to the Patreon. Any support is vastly welcomed and appreciated. So, yeah. I don't know what's to come. I've known where we've been. And it's time to put this club back on top. Top half Premier League, back in Europe. Season 2, we could hit a higher height than Swansea actually ever did in real life. That FA Cup opens up a lot of doors, puts a lot of eyes and money on the table. I feel I've spent it well. You let me know. Till the next time, take care, stay safe, behave. Thank you very much for the continued support, and I will see you soon.